And then there were 4. Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. That's too sweet. Anyway, quarterfinals are done. And of course I didn't bat 1,000 on this one. We'll get into that. But regardless of that, our 2026 semifinals are set. So from here, 2 teams are going to play for the gold, 2 teams are going to play for the bronze, and 1 team is going home empty-handed. Of the 4 teams left, 3 of them have won gold medals in their history. One of them is the defending Olympic champs, and one, well, this is probably the best they're doing. Probably the best they've ever done. But in the spirit of predicting, I'm going to go ahead and give you my semifinals predictions after we talk about the quarterfinals, and, well, quite a bit to talk about on that one. It's worth talking about. So let's talk about it. All right. So without making this one too long, Slovakia versus Germany. Now, I did say if I was going to get any of them wrong, it's going to be this one. And I wasn't wrong. The little train that could, well, they did. Slovakia won this one 6-2. All this time, I was worried about Slavkovsky. I should have been worried about Regenda, who had 3 points. I mean, when it's 4-1 halfway through the second period, one should know coming back is just not in the cards. And really, the Germans, they break my heart. The Germans just they weren't motivated. They just appeared that way anyway. Sad, but true. Either way, Slovakia will need all the luck they can in the semifinals. Canada and Czechia. Now, thankfully, this one wasn't a shutout, nor was it a clear blowout, as the Czechs did have a 2-1 lead after 1 period. And really, it managed to stay close the entire game. So close that we took it to overtime. And, well, overtime didn't last long. I mean, everything was going good. Everything was sound until Mitch Marner, who does great things in a red maple leaf, scored a very early overtime goal for the 4-3 win. Macklin Celebrini had 3 points, and Connor McDavid's point per period streak, well, that ended at 11. But it still ties him with an Olympic record of most points by an NHL player in one Olympic tournament. And we're just past the quarterfinals. He's got at least one more game in him. I mean, who knows how far this record can go, right? But the poor Czechs, they almost had me convinced they tried so hard. And that's probably the problem. They tried. Either way, Canada gets Finland in the semis. So on to Finland versus Switzerland. And you got to hand it to the Swiss. Defensively, they were sound. They went without a goal against for 5 periods. And it could have been 6. But one can't keep the Finns down for too long. And they proved why, managing to bring this game very close late in the third before taking this one to overtime. You'll notice a trend here. And, like the Canada game, it ended early behind Arturi Lekkonen's second goal of the game. Now, for the Finns, one would hope that they learn from this and keep an offensive mind against Team Canada in the semis, because they're going to need to be as offensively minded as they can be if they expect to go any further. Which brings us to the last game, the United States versus Sweden. And if you thought Finland-Switzerland was a tight defensive game, this one was on par to or be even more defensively minded than the Finland game. And it had to be when your first goal came halfway through to the second period. But Sweden, being Sweden, and playing much like Finland, decided they were going to get one with 1.5 minutes to go in the third period. So in keeping with the theme of 3 of the 4 games played today, this one went to overtime. Unfortunately, this one only went to overtime with a 1-1 score. So drama? Yeah, lots of drama going in here. But it was a very gentlemanly game. Not a lot of penalties called. And while it was a great thing to have so many overtimes in one day, Quinn Hughes decided to end it with, I think it was like 4 minutes in, to give the United States the 2-1 win. Great game all the same, though. I mean, of course, if half the posts that Sweden hit would have went into the net instead of just hitting the post, we might have a different story. But either way, the United States gets Slovakia in the semifinals. So now that we've covered the quarters, let's get on to my predictions for the semis. So starting off with Canada versus Finland. Winner goes to the gold, loser plays for the bronze. And you got to think, with Canada, are they getting banged up? I mean, Crosby had to leave the game. McKinnon's looking like a little sluggish. McDavid's taking a lot of hits, but I don't think McDavid's too hurt. But Crosby and McKinnon is your 1-2. And if they're going to be out, what's going to happen? At the same time, though, it is Finland, the defending Olympic champs. And granted, that was a much different scenario. There was no Olympic or no NHL players in the 22 Olympics. So can they defend it properly? Who's to say? But either way, this should be a very close contest, I would think. I would hope. Realistically, though, I mean, Canada is still the odds-on favorite. You can't not bet against them. So might as well go with the grain. Say Canada's going to win this one. Which brings us to Slovakia versus the United States. Now, I'd love to say the little train that could is probably going to keep going, but this could be where the little train that could runs out of steam unless Slovakia manages some of that offensive magic that they've had all Olympics long. I mean, yeah, I keep saying Slavkovsky, but it's a very big committee in Slovakia. But having said that, if the quarterfinal game the States played against Sweden is any indication, defense first, zone defense. You got to think they'll be playing very defensive and letting their offensive guys play offensively when it's time, if there'll ever be a time. I mean, they could just be resting up for the gold medal game. And again, winner goes to the gold medal, loser plays for the bronze. Can't expect the States to be any worse for wear or any less than a finalist. So the smart money has to say the United States. The script has to say the United States. It's probably the way it's supposed to be made, right? I will say, though, great Olympic tournament up to this point, and I'm looking forward to the semifinals, the bronze medal game, and the gold medal game. It should all be very, very, very fun to watch. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you think is going on to the finals, who's going to the bronze medals. Let me know if you think I'm wrong on these predictions. Let me know if you think that little train that could still has the gas to keep going. Love to hear it either way. So that's another one of them Trev's hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you made it to this point. If you have made it to this point, that's an amazing thing. I'm so happy for you. You've made it to the end. And you're helping out my watch time immensely. And I'm never going to say, no, that's a bad thing. I'm always going to say it's a great thing, because the watch time, it does wonders to help this channel out. So if you've made it to this point, if you get what I'm doing, you just want to say, hey, throw me a thumbs up, dude. I'm all for it. Trust me, a thumbs up, the watch time, they go hand in hand. They help the algorithm out. And the more exposure we can get this channel, the more I can reach out, the better it is for everybody. If you really want, if you haven't done so by now, that red button that says subscribe all over it, come on, you know you want to hit it. I know you want to hit it. The algorithm knows you want to hit it. We're making that push to 500 by the end of the year. I'm hoping we get there. Let's help this guy out. If you really want, if you want to go the extra mile, that link in my description below, that'll take you to my Facebook page. Feel free to join that. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to see the numbers build there like they're building here. I'm posting on there quite frequently, whether it's on my page, whether it's on related hockey threads, or even just music threads, which I've been posting a lot on lately. I'm there. And, you can find me or I'll find you. Either way, I'd love to meet you there. So moving forward, when it comes to these Olympics, we have, as I've mentioned, the bronze medal game, the gold medal game, and then we're going to wrap it up. So as far as this Olympic term is concerned, at least three more chapters in this. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for me, Trev. Later.